As the IT director, kept the network going, had network personnel, had people that supported applications. One thing unique about the city of Lawrence is that we had over 70 buildings and they all need connectivity. And beyond buildings, we had water towers and fuel stations and security cameras. Normally you would have to pay providers for each one of those connections. And what I was looking for was having our own fiber to save money. For T1 and T3 and those kind of speeds, which are just very slow, we're kind of the industry standard. But with all the growing data needs and files that were much larger in size, there became a real need for network speed. In 2014, the city moved our internet connection to KanREN, and not only for cost, but for a lot of the extra services that they provide. We collaborated and worked on fiber projects with 2 universities, with the county, with the health department, with the library, with the hospital, with the school district, and other organizations. We were kind of partnering with those who were funded by taxes. We were looking at this as a way to save money for all of us.
The Lawrence Public Library exists to serve all members of the Lawrence community. We, of course, are a public library, so we provide access to traditional library materials, but a significant portion of our mission is also technology related. There are many people in the Lawrence community who still no longer have sufficient internet connection, so providing that to everyone is an essential part of what we do.
The mission at the hospital, we're very focused on our place in the community. We want to make sure that we're providing the highest level of care possible for the community. From the technical perspective, we provide that foundation for high-speed communications, interconnectivity between the various things that are used to help provide care. CTs, MRIs, lab equipment, computers, diagnostic radiology equipment, the computing infrastructure that our providers use to update patients' charts, look up treatment methodologies, just a whole wide range of things that are required to provide high-quality healthcare these days.
The city uses the fiber in lots of ways, and not only for building connectivity, but the voice over IP phone system is all internet-based. We have traffic signals, over 100 traffic signals. I have a number of water towers, some sewer lift stations, some security systems that are connected. All of those need to get back to the central network.
Connection to the city's fiber loop allows us access to KanREN. The presence of that fiber connection allows us to have a high-speed internet connection that they can take advantage of. Being able to rely on a really excellent connection, upstream connection, makes those stable and possible. We had Governor Kathleen Sebelius here in the building conducting a program for us not long ago, and we were able to do that, trust that the connection would remain stable, we would have a consistent stream throughout.
It really gives us the opportunity to bring online new things more easily because we don't have to go back to a service provider and say, oh, now we need to do this, now we need to do that. We're able to do it more on our own. Service provider infrastructure sometimes is a little antiquated. We would have outages. We would have disruptions in service. Sometimes it can be a day or more, depending upon what the outage is. The infrastructure is older for the service providers. They're not as keen to get out and fix things. Getting through the layers of support with some of these larger organizations can be a real challenge to get them to go and do something.
Prior to our KanREN, we were unable to see why anything cost what it did when we were merely a commercial telecom customer. Being a KanREN member, we have transparency into why things cost what they do. That transparency is extremely important to us.
One of the things I really appreciate about KanREN is their network backbone. It goes all over the state of Kansas. They have connectivity options that they can work with, and they're constantly working at lowering the cost to to all the KanREN members, which I appreciate.
We rely on software as a service for various things here in the library, just as many businesses do. As that becomes the prevalent model, we have to trace problems between us and our service providers. Our data center for the library catalog is in Atlanta, so understanding why there may be a problem with our connection to that data center is business critical. KanREN provides network operations center that are able to trace those problems right away and help us resolve them.
KanREN fits into the kind of the bigger picture and the goals of the hospital by continuing to allow us to collaborate with other community anchor organizations. We're involved in a project right now that allows us to connect other anchor organizations more easily and much more cost effectively than having to revisit major construction projects. In the past, we had things spread out between maybe multiple locations. We're able to bring all of those disparate locations together here. We're able to, on the IT side, help provide that care with the infrastructure that we have available. The same quality of care that you might get at the hospital, we have available here as well for those types of things.
Court and his group have been great to work with, and they have provided the city great support. I mean, we had a denial of service attack against our police department, and you know, our network was just being bombarded with, and it was just like all of a sudden the network outbound wasn't working. We couldn't figure out what's going on. It was just because we were having a denial of service attack. And like all of a sudden I get a phone call while we're checking things out from KanREN. It says, hey, you're being hit with a denial of service attack. It looks like it's directed toward your police website, and we'll have it fixed. And so they diverted all that traffic to somewhere else. If that was one of the major providers, I'd been on the phone all day trying to find out who's going to call me back and when they're going to call me back. Then they probably would have wanted to negotiate how much they're going to charge us for this. It's just so much better, you know.